Live from KSAT 12, the Nightbeat starts right now.
Members of an East Side church community gathering today to say guns have no place on their streets.
Several organizations, along with San Antonio's police chief, speaking at a rally advocating for gun safety. That rally comes as some say shootings are happening way too often. The Night Team's Jonathan Cotto with more on their message.
Gun violence has become a part of our daily lives, and we need to work together to find the best solutions to prevent that and to make San Antonio safer.
The advocacy group Moms Demand Action joining forces with the Stop in the Name of Love movement for a rally at Greater Faith Institutional Church Saturday. Their goal, to promote gun safety awareness. The Stop in the Name of Love movement actually formed as an effort to end gun violence in response to a February 7th shooting taking place on the grounds of that very same church.
We want everyone to join us. We're joining other organizations. We're speaking all over the city of San Antonio.
Rosita Wilson, who serves as a chief of pastor and bishop at the church, says guns have no place in her community, especially after that February shooting left one child injured and a man hospitalized.
They out here playing on a day that was supposed to have been so simple and so beautiful.
San Antonio Police Chief William McMahon is also on hand at the rally. He says while first quarter 2021 reports show violent crimes have taken a dip, the dangers associated with gun violence are still very much a threat to everyone.
We are too quick to reach for the gun. Too quick. And people that you see out on the street here that you wouldn't even think are carrying a gun, they are.
Well, there was an arrest made in that February case. Chief McManus says one of the things that's frustrating the most from a law enforcement perspective is that there appears to be a lack of fear of consequences. He says it appears that shootings are on a repeating cycle, and he says communities need to work together with law enforcement agencies, a combined effort to keep violent crimes on the low. Reporting live, Jonathan Cotto, KSAT 12 News. Tim Courtney.
Well, for most of the day today, it was pretty rainy from about 10 o'clock in the morning through about 6 o'clock. We saw areas of light to moderate rain around San Antonio. But just before the sun set, we were able to see a little bit of sunshine. The rain in some spots was too much of a good thing. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of the radar right now. And to be honest with you, it's fairly quiet in San Antonio. We're only seeing a few clouds out there right now. But to our west, notice all of the storms. There was a severe thunderstorm warning up in northern Valverde County, but that has been canceled because the storms are weakening. And that's actually a good thing. These storms that are moving across the Rio Grande here, they are weakening. And so in the overnight hours here in San Antonio, I don't think we're going to have to worry about some severe weather. I know today was pretty much a washout. So if you're somebody who wants to walk your dog, here's Fido's forecast for your Sunday. In the morning, though, I do think we could still see a few showers, a few storms, damp around 10 as well. But into the afternoon, it's going to be a pretty pleasant day Sunday with temperatures up into the 80s. However, next week, we are going to have active weather, a chance for rain every day, and we will have to watch out for strong storms, potentially severe storms, as well as heavy rain. More on that chance for some strong to severe storms, as well as a recap of some of the areas that saw a lot of rain coming up in just a few minutes. Courtney?
Fido might need a rain jacket. Thank you, Sarah. San Antonio police on the hunt for a man they say shot at a woman outside of a Northwest Side abortion clinic this morning. It all happened this morning outside of Alamo Women's Reproductive Services on John Smith Drive. While police emphasized the clinic was not the target of the shooting, a woman who was heading inside was. Police say that woman arrived at the clinic with the suspect, who shortly after pulled out a gun and shot at her but missed. That's why this is being called a domestic violence situation. A person standing with a group of protesters outside the clinic saw it all happen and took action.
There was a protester that was outside on the sidewalk, observed the shooting occur, and then he engaged with that suspect and returned fire, and then he fled from there after that occurred.
We're told the protester who fired at the suspect had a license to carry their handgun. The suspect is believed to have dropped that gun as he ran away, which police later found. Officers investigating the domestic violence incident say although the clinic was not the target, some bullets did strike the building, causing minimal damage.
The family of missing toddler James Chavez is waiting for answers after investigators said an autopsy of the human remains found last month won't happen until at least July 1st. Those remains were found in a West Side mobile home park off of West Military Drive. That's where the boy lived with his mother, 20-year-old Delaney Chavez. James's great aunt, Marisol Gomez, said today the remains were found near the walkway of the main entrance into the mobile home.
How could you live here, and then how could you sleep here knowing that your child was right here? Here's the bedroom door, and where they practically found him is in this area. Here she's sleeping in here, and here your child lays. What kind of person can do that?
Gomez said James's mother had stayed silent throughout the investigation. Delaney Chavez was arrested in March on suspicion of abandoning or endangering a child and was indicted by a grand jury on charges of tampering with evidence. She was initially reported missing along with 18-month-old James on January 4th. Investigators eventually tracking her down, but still no sign of James.
Other top stories happening today. Several people were taken into custody, and at least one person could be facing a DUI charge following a head-on collision this morning. The crash happened just before 2:30 a.m. at St. Mary's and Kendall Streets. Police say the suspected DUI driver hit another vehicle after making a right onto Kendall Street. The driver who caused that crash was taken to a nearby hospital. Right after the collision, police say several people got out of the car that was hit and took off running. Police were able to catch up with them and took them into custody for some questioning.
Meanwhile, police say a woman was hospitalized in serious condition thanks to a suspected drunk driver who caused this crash over on the northwest side. It all happened just before 4 a.m. on I-10 near Vance Jackson. Officers tell us the driver was speeding when they lost control, sideswiped several other vehicles, and then rolled over. The driver running off after the crash, and police say they are still looking for them tonight. No one else was hurt.
Turning to the coronavirus and the latest mask guidance from the CDC. According to the CDC, people who are fully vaccinated may choose not to wear a mask both indoors and outdoors. The city of San Antonio is taking steps to comply. Beginning Monday, city facilities will no longer be conducting temperature checks. Masks and social distancing will also be optional, again, only for those who are fully vaccinated. Signs will be posted on buildings reminding people that masks are still required for those who are not vaccinated. However, it's unclear how that will be reinforced.
Spurs fans have not had a lot to celebrate this year, but tonight they can celebrate as Tim Duncan is officially a Hall of Famer. The big fundamental enshrined this evening in the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame. Longtime teammate Tony Parker presented him with his Hall of Fame jacket and ring prior to the ceremony, while the Admiral David Robinson welcomed Duncan into the Hall. Duncan thanked his parents, teammates, and coaches during his 12-minute speech. Andrew Seeley will have much more tonight on that presentation a little bit later in sports.
This week's episode of KSAT Explains is all about hail. We have seen our fair share of it lately after a few weeks of spring storms. KSAT meteorologist Katie Blake steps into the breakdown booth to talk a little bit about what you can expect from the show.
Meteorologist Sarah Spivey, and I thought this would be a great time to cover the topic of hail in an episode of KSAT Explains, especially because May is one of our busy months for severe weather. It's a busy time of our spring severe weather season. We also know that hail is something that a lot of San Antonio and South Texas residents worry about because we do get these huge supercell thunderstorms that can produce large damaging hail. Even just over the past few years, we have had some very costly hailstorms in and around San Antonio. So in this episode of KSAT Explains, we're going to talk about why we see such large hail here in the San Antonio area and across South Central Texas. We're also going to talk about how costly these events can be. And we'll also get into the science of how hail forms. It's one of my favorite processes in the meteorology world. And you'll learn about how hail forms, how many different sizes of hail there can be, and how many different shapes of hail there can be. And after this episode, the next time you have some hailstones fall in your yard, you'll be able to tell a lot about the journey that that hailstone took through a thunderstorm. Last but not least, we're also going to give you some nice, easy to remember tips so that you can protect yourself and your property the next time South Texas faces a big hailstorm. I think you'll like this episode of KSAT Explains.
Can't wait to see this one. KSAT Explains all about hail is out now. Find it at ksat.com/explains or in the KSAT TV app on any streaming device.
Still ahead on the Nightbeat, several people are dead after an Israeli airstrike in Gaza City today. How the White House is reacting to the latest violence. Plus, it happened months ago, but people are still being charged for the deadly Capitol attack. How the FBI gained evidence that led to another arrest.
And a mixture of freedom and confusion in the wake of the CDC's new guidance allowing fully vaccinated people to go without masks. The latest coming up on the Nightbeat. The CDC's new guidance on masks for those who are fully vaccinated is receiving mixed reaction nationwide.
Yeah, the recommendation leading several states to announce that they will lift or change their mask mandates, but businesses are split on exactly how they will move forward.
Here's ABC's Karina Mitchell with the details.
The CDC's new guidance saying those who are fully vaccinated can ditch the mask in most cases has some people celebrating.
Everybody's been waiting for this moment for a while now.
And others confused.
Last week they tell you everybody must wear a mask, and now 2 days later they're saying take off your mask. I don't trust any of it.
Fully vaccinated parent Chris Koenig says he's keeping his mask on in public until his 6- and 4-year-old children are vaccinated.
And it's tough to explain to the kids as well how we can take our masks off, but they have to keep them on.
At least 19 of the 24 states that had mask mandates have announced plans to adopt the CDC guidance or scrap mask requirements entirely.
When we see someone wearing a mask or not wearing a mask, we don't know what's going on behind their decision. And it's important that we're not judging each other at this time.
Major retailers like Walmart, Costco, and Trader Joe's making masks optional for fully vaccinated shoppers. Starbucks also saying it will now allow customers to go maskless. More than 156 million Americans have received at least one dose of the vaccine, but still nearly 2/3 of the country is not yet fully vaccinated. Businesses and the essential workers running them have expressed concern about enforcing the new rules.
If you think that somebody may get aggressive about a mask, just wait till you ask them whether or not they've been vaccinated.
But masks are still required when traveling on planes, trains, or buses, as well as in travel hubs like airports. Karina Mitchell, ABC News, New York.
All right, back here, a very soggy Saturday, and it is just the setup for several days of wet weather.
Yeah, get ready.
We're just getting started, as they say, right? But we are going to have at least some of the weekend to salvage tomorrow, especially into the afternoon hours tomorrow. Looks like we'll be able to enjoy some time outdoors if you choose so. But this is a look at the measured rainfall so far since this morning. Again, it started raining around 10. It didn't really let up fully until after 6 o'clock. Now, around San Antonio, the rain was generally light, about maybe up to 1/4 of an inch of rain in spots. But look at this bullseye, pretty much just south of Highway 90 near Canicpa and out toward Uvalde, and then down south in southern Uvalde and southern Medina counties. These areas clocked in more than 6 inches of rain, like at Coyote Ranch Road and Wilson Lake. Again, around the San Antonio area, only up to about 1/4 of an inch of rain, and then down near Pleasanton, nearly an inch of rainfall. These areas had flash flood warnings today, and these areas have a chance to see more storms in the overnight hours here. So if you have friends or family, or you yourself live in southern Medina, southern Uvalde County, and you have early morning plans tomorrow, like let's say a church service or an early mass, you're going to want to check the road closures before you head out tomorrow morning. Here's a look at the current radar image, and you can see well out to the west we have got some showers and some storms. Now, there's a couple of things about these storms. Firstly, they are weakening as they are moving east here. So that's some good news. There are some flashes of lightning here in northern Valverde County. You can see those lightning strikes there on the radar. But these storms are weakening. Then down near Eagle Pass for our friends there, really only some showers right now in Maverick County. But the good news is, again, as these are moving to the east, they are weakening. And what that means for us here in San Antonio is that we are not really concerned anymore about the potential for severe weather in the overnight hours. Here's a look at the high-res futurecast, and you can see how this pretty much falls apart as it moves to the east. But the energy that created these storms is still going to be with us by dawn tomorrow. And so I do think that we are going to have a few scattered showers, potentially a few storms right at around dawn tomorrow. And we have to watch out for some heavy rain at times. But then watch what happens as we head into the mid-morning hours. Those are well to the east toward Gonzales, Hallettsville, and those areas. And then throughout the day tomorrow, it should be generally quiet with 1 or 2 pop-up showers or storms. The chance for storms tomorrow in the afternoon, only 20%. So not a washout by any means. So let me walk you through your Sunday again. Tomorrow waking up 68 degrees, 60% chance for scattered showers and storms. That'll taper off right at around 10. And into the afternoon tomorrow, 20% chance for an isolated pop-up shower or storm. High temperature tomorrow, warmer than today. We were only at 75 today because of the rain. Tomorrow we'll be at 81. Winds will be from the southeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. But as I said, we are not done yet. Rain chances every single day this week. After a brief break, potentially on Monday, we're going to have a severe potential in San Antonio. On Tuesday and on Tuesday night, looks really good for the chance for showers and storms. About a 70% chance there. When all is said and done, look at the rain chances. They continue Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. When all is said and done, we could add on an additional 3 to 5 inches of rain in places by this time next week. So heavy rain and flooding going to be an issue as well. Keep that KSAT weather app handy. We'll keep you informed.
Our weather doesn't know how to spread things out.
No,
as long as it doesn't all come at once, we'll take it while we
Yes, thank you.
All right, from the Virgin Islands all the way to the Basketball Hall of Fame, Tim Duncan is where he belongs.
That's right. And for a guy that thought he was nervous heading into it, I thought he did a really good job with his speech. When we come back, Tim Duncan steps into the spotlight, deliver an emotional speech in which he thanks friends, family, and coaches on a 19-year remarkable career, and he's finally in the Hall of Fame. Plus, remembering Kobe with Vanessa Bryant's speech this afternoon. Got that too. Next.
Finally. I don't want to talk about him. He's gonna get mad at me if I talk about him. Sorry, Pop. Coach Pop.
In his Hall of Fame enshrinement speech, Tim Duncan saves his appreciation for head coach Greg Popovich for last in big board sports. It is official. Spurs legend Tim Duncan is now a Hall of Famer. The latest from a franchise that has inducted the likes of David Robinson and George Gervin before him. The 5-time NBA champion and 2-time league MVP carved out a memorable career at the center of the Spurs dynasty and retired as arguably the greatest power forward to ever play the game. Now his legacy has been enshrined forever at the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame along with the rest of the class of 2020. The first people Tim thanked in his enshrinement speech, his parents.
William and Ione Duncan. A combined 0 basketball knowledge. But they taught me more about the game than anyone else. You heard the mantra that my mom instilled in me, good, better, best, never let it rest till your good is better and your better is your best. They told me and made me have pride in everything I did, be the best at everything I did, be happy with what your role is or where you are and try to be the best at that. And I'm here because of them.
Duncan spread the love to his teammates throughout his speech, including the Admiral David Robinson, who presented Duncan for enshrinement. But Duncan made special note of the dynamic duo that helped him forge 4 of his 5 titles, Manu Ginobili and Tony Parker.
To look to your left and to look to your right and to have the same guys there year in, year out is unbelievable. It's a blessing beyond what I can put into words. Manu Ginobili, Tony Parker. I can't wait to see you guys up here and for me not to be up here. It was an honor sharing the court with you guys. Thank you for everything. Thank you for your friendship. Thank you for your brotherhood. Thank you for all the experiences that we shared on that court. Thank you.
And of course, Duncan ended his speech by paying tribute to head coach Greg Popovich, who was at the helm of the Spurs throughout Timmy's 19-year career.
The standard you set, you showed up after I got drafted, you came to my island, you sat with my friends, my family, you talked with my dad. I thought that was normal. It's not. You're an exceptional person. Thank you for teaching me about basketball, but even beyond that, teach me that's not all about basketball. It's about what's happening in the world, about your family, just for everything. Thank you for being the amazing human being that you are.
And prior to the ceremony, the Spurs unveiled an addition to Tim Duncan's retired number 21 jersey hanging from the rafters at the AT&T Center. It now says Hall of Fame at the bottom. Now, you can't discuss Tim Duncan's legacy and not talk about Kobe Bryant, so it's fitting that both of them entered the Hall as members of the same class. Bryant was a 5-time NBA champion himself with the Lakers and left an indelible mark on the sport of basketball. He was inducted posthumously after tragically passing away last January. Bryant's wife, Vanessa, spoke on his behalf at tonight's ceremony, helped to the stage by Kobe's idol, Michael Jordan. And she ended her speech with a message to her late husband.
You did it. You're in the Hall of Fame now. You're a true champ. You're not just an MVP. You're an all-time great. I'm so proud of you. I love you forever and always. Kobe Bean Bryant.
Kevin Garnett and Baylor head women's basketball coach Kim Mulkey joined Duncan and Kobe as members of the class of 2020. Coming up later in sports, we get the current Spurs thoughts on the upcoming play-in tournament. They're already locked in that 10 seed, but there's still a lot left to figure out here. We'll see what happens.
Congrats to all those newly minted Hall of Famers, and great to see the big three back together again.
Definitely was a wonderful celebration.
It was. Thank you, Andrew.
Though journalists were given time to evacuate, an Israeli airstrike destroyed a building housing the Associated Press and Al Jazeera offices, as well as residents of the Gaza Strip. The latest on the ongoing conflict, next on the Nightbeat. At least 10 Palestinians were killed by Israeli forces in clashes in towns and cities across the West Bank on Friday.
Palestinian officials say it is the deadliest day that area has seen in years, and among the rubble, a building which housed not only people but several international media outlets.
CNN's John Lawrence reports.
An Israeli airstrike destroys a 12-story building in Gaza that housed residential apartments and the offices of media outlets, including the Associated Press and Al Jazeera.
This channel will not be silenced. Al Jazeera will not be silenced. We can guarantee you that right now.
Israeli officials say the building also housed a Hamas research and development unit. And the West Bank is experiencing the most intense confrontation in years between Palestinians and Israeli security forces. The Palestinian Health Ministry in Gaza says the Israeli airstrikes have killed more than 130 people.
Clearly, what's happening on the ground, the loss of life, the loss of children's lives, the loss of family members' lives, whether it's Palestinian lives or Israeli lives, is incredibly tragic.
Dozens gathered Saturday near the Israeli embassy in Amman, Jordan, calling for the revocation of the Jordan-Israeli peace deal in response to the attacks.
We need to speak out about our human cause, for the Palestinian cause, to support those under attack.
A representative from the United Nations warns this is escalating to a full-scale war.
It's horrific to watch. That is certainly why our focus is on de-escalating what is happening on the ground.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
And a U.S. official tells CNN that President Joe Biden spoke with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu today. According to Netanyahu's office, the prime minister told Biden that Israel does fully attempt not to strike innocent parties.
Taking a look at headlines around America tonight. Police in Connecticut are calling the disappearance of a young mother there suspicious. Friday night, state police were searching a condo in South Windsor in connection to the search for Jessica Edwards. People were seen wearing hazmat suits going into the condo, also canine units going in. Authorities say Edwards disappeared Monday morning after emailing a professor saying she wouldn't be in class. Edwards is a new mom and was recently married. Her family is adamant she would not have voluntarily left without her baby. Investigators said they don't have any evidence of foul play at this point, but they haven't ruled it out.
A Connecticut man has been charged in the deadly Capitol riot on January 6th. Eric Beauchene was arrested on Thursday. FBI agents say he admitted to being inside the Capitol during the deadly riot. The agency says it received multiple tips and reviewed several public photos of showing him inside the Capitol building, standing near Jake Angeli, also known as the QAnon shaman. Boschin reportedly bragged about his involvement to a tipster. The anonymous person said he told him that he broke a window in the Capitol and was one of the first people inside the building. Boschin is charged with violent entry and disorderly conduct on Capitol grounds.
Some big changes in store for New York City's Pride celebration this year. Beginning next month, police and corrections officers will not be allowed to participate in the NYC Pride March until at least 2025. Organizers say they will now be working with a private security firm instead. They also plan to ask the NYPD to stay a block away from all events, including the march, which draws a very large crowd. The department released a statement saying, quote, the idea of officers being excluded is disheartening, end quote. But Pride organizers say they're trying to create safer spaces for their community, and sometimes having law enforcement can be threatening and at times dangerous.
Bad news for card collectors. Pikachu and friends have apparently become too dangerous for Target to sell for the time being. The retailer is temporarily halting sales of all Pokemon and sports trading cards in its stores. Trading cards have skyrocketed in value during the pandemic. For example, a Michael Jordan card, which usually sells for about $215,000, went for $738,000 at auction in February. Last week, a Wisconsin Target was locked down after 4 people assaulted a man over sports trading cards. Target plans to continue selling the cards online. The competitor Walmart says it will keep selling its cards in its stores.
All right, check this out. NASA's Mars Perseverance rover is no longer alone on our big red neighbor. China has successfully landed its rover on Mars, becoming just the second country in history to do so. Named Zhurong after a Chinese mythological god of fire, the rover landed this morning on a pre-selected area. The 6-wheeled solar-powered rover will soon be deployed from the lander for a 3-month mission in search of signs of evidence of ancient life on Mars's surface.
More than a decade later, millions of vehicles involved in the infamous Takata airbag recall have still gone unchecked on U.S. roads. The steps car owners are being urged to take. That's next. Is your car's airbag safe? The Takata airbag recall was the largest safety recall in U.S. history. That was back in 2008. Yet today there are still some 17 million cars on U.S. roads that have those potentially explosive airbags. 12 on your side's Marilyn Moritz on the danger and what car owners are urged to do.
It's a danger on wheels. On Texas roads alone, there are nearly 1 million cars, trucks, and SUVs with defective Takata airbags. This despite years of urgent warnings, 19 deaths and some 400 injuries linked to the airbags. The problem? Faulty inflators that can act like a grenade.
If that thing implodes or explodes, the shrapnel, if you will, is coming right at your face. And that's the risk.
Patrick Junot is the court-appointed special administrator of Takata recall settlements, urging people to remove the risk, which is higher in hot, humid climates.
The higher the humidity state, the greater the risk. So Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi.
Next week, the Texas Department of Motor Vehicles is mailing yet more notices to known car owners. The airbags were installed in cars by 19 different automakers, mostly 2002 through 2015 models. If you've already checked your car, you are urged to do it again because this has been a rolling, gradual recall. It only takes a couple of minutes to do it. To do that, find your vehicle identification number on the driver's side dash or door and check this website, safeairbags.com. If you have a recall, make an appointment with your dealer. The repair is free. Doing nothing could be costly. Marilyn Moritz, KSAT 12 News.
A rainy day for a lot of us out there with just a brief break before the sunset this evening. There's a look outside with live cam, and here are the numbers for the day. We were able to only warm up to 75 degrees for the high temperature. That's 11 degrees cooler than average, obviously, because of all the rain in the area. But even though we saw rain for a good portion of the day, really only amounted to 0.2 of an inch of rain at the airport, with some people only seeing a few hundredths. But of course, areas out toward Medina County and Uvalde County saw some very, very heavy rain, led to some flash flooding. If you look to the west, you can see some storms out there in Valverde County and in Maverick County. These are not severe. They're run-of-the-mill thunderstorms at the moment, but this energy is going to push to the east, and so there is a chance for some showers and storms, especially by the first part of the day tomorrow. But your Sunday is not going to be a washout. Of course, though, there is a chance for showers and storms over the next 7 days. If you've been paying attention to the weather, you know how active the weather is going to be for the foreseeable future. So a lot to unpack in the forecast coming up soon.
It is nice to see the forecast and see several days with a chance for rain. We just don't want it all to come all at once.
Right, exactly.
You're right. And unfortunately, we are going to continue to see that chance for showers and storms in just about every day over the next 7 days. There is going to be the potential for storms and showers, and because of the time of year, some of those could be on the stronger, severe side. Right now outside, it is 70 degrees. The clouds have returned. We briefly saw some sun before the sun set, but those clouds are back, and humidity is pretty high right now at 90%. And we'll probably coast right at around 70 degrees into the overnight hours. Now, earlier today, we saw a good amount of rain around San Antonio. It was just light to moderate rain, but it lasted for just about, honestly, the whole day from about 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. But radar indicated rainfall amounts of up to about 1/4 of an inch for many folks in some places, like in western Bexar County, southwestern Bexar County, close to Castroville, about 1 inch of radar indicated rain near Floresville and Lavernia as well. But the real bullseye of very heavy rainfall was from areas just to the east of Uvalde near Canepa, south of D'Hanis, south of Sabinal, in southern Uvalde County and southern Medina County there, where in some spots we saw 4 to 6 inches of rain. That led to flash flooding in these areas, and with the more chances for rain overnight, we're going to have to watch out for flash flooding in these parts early tomorrow morning, or at least flooding early tomorrow morning. But a quick check of radar does show that these showers and storms that are out in Valverde County and near Eagle Pass, you're hearing quite a bit of thunder, seeing some lightning. These are weakening substantially as they move off to the east. And so as I take you through the future cast, what you'll notice is that it's indicating that this is going to fall apart quite a bit before it reaches San Antonio. But the energy is still going to be there for storms. And so right around dawn, I do believe that we'll have some scattered showers and storms in the area. Not really concerned about severe weather overnight. However, 1 or 2 of these may be on the stronger side. And of course, we could see some heavy downpours. And depending on where the rain falls, that could lead to some minor flooding issues. After dawn, however, this complex is going to move to the east, and then bringing a rainfall to areas like Gonzales, DeWitt County, out toward Hallettsville and Lavaca County. But even into the afternoon, even though rain is going to be few and far between in the afternoon, we are going to have a 20% chance for a pop-up shower or storm in the afternoon hours. Sunday will not be a washout like today was, though. And again, just a few spotty thunderstorms in the afternoon. But because of the time of year, because the atmosphere does have the ingredients there is a marginal risk for severe weather tomorrow. That's a 1 on a scale of 1 to 5. Concerns would be maybe up to the size of quarter-sized hail and some gusty winds, as well as the potential for some flooding issues. So tomorrow, waking up, 60% chance for scattered showers and storms in the morning hours, 68 degrees. Right at around noon, still a few pop-up thunderstorms are possible, but later into the day, that becomes a lot less likely. 81 for the high rather than 75 like it was today. Breezy southeast winds at 10 to 20 miles per hour. We are not going to be done with the rain by any means. Big upper level low is going to set up severe weather potential for us on Tuesday and Tuesday night, and this could really be a doozy. We could see some heavy rain at times. In fact, that'll continue Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and again, severe weather will be a potential. A brief break, though, from the rain potentially on Monday as well. Look at these chances for rain every single day. As far as rainfall goes, maximum 3 to 5 inches in places by this time next week, and that'll lead to some flooding issues. I can almost guarantee it.
All right. Thank you, Sarah.
All right. After making it into the play-in, the Spurs rested a bunch of players today, and it went about as well as you would expect.
Yeah, they kind of punted on the rest of the regular season, for lack of a better phrase. When we come back, we'll recap today's loss to the Suns and what it means for them moving forward. Get the team's thoughts as they start getting geared up for their play-in game against either the Grizzlies or the Warriors. Plus, Mules baseball is on their deepest playoff run in 5 years. Got that next. Well, with Coach Pop up in Springfield, Massachusetts this evening for Tim Duncan's enshrinement in the Basketball Hall of Fame, and 4 starters resting, you could tell the Spurs 140 to 103 for them in the long run. They're already locked into the 10th seed in this year's play-in tournament, with the only question mark who they'll play. That will be either Golden State or Memphis. Both of those two teams play tomorrow, and San Antonio will play the loser of that matchup in a win-or-go-home game on Wednesday. The Spurs need to win 2 games in the play-in tournament to qualify for the playoffs. How does the team feel about that challenge?
We got 2 days off before we play, which is interesting. We haven't had that in a while. I mean, I'm looking forward to playing whoever we can play. If it was any year before this, we wouldn't be playing on Wednesday. So I look forward to the challenge. I like it, winner take all. We've got no pressure going into it. I feel like anybody we play has more to lose than we do. And we got guys that are resting right now, so they'll be fully charged, ready to go on Wednesday. I'm looking forward to it.
Spurs still have one more regular season game, same opponent, the Suns, same location tomorrow afternoon at 1 p.m. Congratulations to the Alamo Heights girls golf team. The Mules took home the UIL Class 5A state team title on Tuesday, the first in program history. Julia Vollmer led the way, finishing 3rd overall in the individual standings. She combined with Ella Williams, Jacqueline Gonzalez, Jordan Salisbury, and Charlotte Nam to top the team standings with a total score of 609.
I keep thinking of that moment when Julia ran off and she was crying. We were all crying, and I keep thinking of that moment. It just, every time I think about it, I realize, wow, we won state. As our coaches told us quite often, like, our good is good enough, and we can all pull through for each other. And so I think it's just a motivator to keep getting better and better and be able to, have another opportunity like that.
They have a good shot next year. 4 of the 5 girls on this year's squad are returning next season. Last night, the Alamo Heights baseball team put on a show in a convincing 9-1 victory over Eagle Pass win in the second round of the UIL Class 5A playoffs. The Mules offense strung a number of hits together to break a 1-1 tie by scoring 6 runs in the top of the 5th. Junior Edward Hart was dealing on the mound. He struck out 9 Mavericks and helped his own cause with a pair of RBIs. Now they're moving on to the 3rd round, a great reward for a relatively young team.
Coming into the season, we're a pretty young team. We have a bunch of sophomores. We have a few freshmen that even play. I didn't know what to expect. I was in basketball, came in, we were a few games into the season, and saw our team was hitting, saw our team was doing, and knew this was a special team, knew that we were going to make it far.
It's huge. We haven't been in the 3rd round since 2016, and we made it far that year, and this year looking to make a statement, go all the way.
Mules will take on Dripping Springs next week. Date and time still to be determined. In the majors, Astros hosting the Rangers tonight, looking to clinch the series win, and the home team is rolling up 4-1 in the bottom of the 7th. Kyle Tucker sends one deep to right. You can kiss that ball goodbye. That's a 2-run shot, and it gives Houston a 6-1 lead, and they would hang on, surviving a late rally to win 6-5. And the WNBA season got underway this afternoon. San Antonio native Kiana Williams made her debut at the Seattle Storm, wearing number 23 on the court. Now, the 18th overall draft pick didn't score, but she played 3 minutes in the second quarter, and the Storm won 97-83. Baby steps, but it's an important first step for her in her career.
All right. Thank you so much, Andrew.
You got it.
We'll be right back.
A few showers out west are struggling to maintain their strength as they're moving east, but we are going to carry a chance for storms in the morning. A little bit quieter in the afternoon tomorrow, but the chance for storms is still there. Chance for storms every single day in this upcoming week, especially on Tuesday. That's where we're going to have our magnifying glass.